proper spooky vibes going on in the it wasn't it? Like a candlelight underneath me. I'm still kind of using a bit of candlelight, but yeah. So
screen behind you.
yeah. So I don't know. Just to explain to like anyone listening at home, had the maddest storm here last night, and like honestly, it was amazing. I was sat on our balcony just in awe, and it's like a standard sort of storm here, but like it was just like rain like I've never seen, and like the lightning, the entire sky just, like, so place is really for me a place of awe and wonder. Do you know what I mean? Like just the little things like the thunderstorms I'm amazed by, and like the wildlife. Do you know what I mean? I'm seeing just some of the most incredible wildlife. Do you know what I mean? Like I love all the little bugs I see. They're like all on steroids or something. They're massive, and like when you see butterflies like this.
Yeah.
I was working out we got a gym in my apartment. There's a gym on the roof, and I was working out up on there yesterday, and I just had like a flock of parrots kind of just fly over, and I was like, fuck. Do you know what I mean? Like it's annoying when the electricity cuts out, because it means it's much harder to have a cup of tea and to talk online. But yeah, so yeah. Anyway, that's just to fill in what's going on. But we're back now.
Yeah. In Yorkshire, we got quite a bit of rain too, but we get pigeons, not parrots. Yeah.
Yorkshire, right? That's what they call it. I love Yorkshire. It's like one of my favourite places.
Yeah. You said you were meant to move out there back in May, I think you said, didn't you?
Yes. Yeah. So do you know what I mean? Like 2021, 2020 was like pretty crazy, but like sort of having to deal with all like the sort of difficulties of that year, as everyone went through. Do you know what I mean? Everyone went through a mad time that year, and dealing with all them challenges, continuing with my craft, not letting anything sort of stop me from training, stop me from teaching. It set me up for this year, and this year's been like it's been like one hell of a year already. Like so many twists and turns. It's been unbelievable. But yeah, the opportunity come to me beginning of March. I was looking to be out here in May, and then I quit my job roofing, and I thought, right, I'm going full-time coaching. Enough money to sort of see me through and get me there. But first thing happened was a cyclone, so pushed back construction. So the date was pushed back to around about July, and then Indian lockdown happened. And at this point, I was still need to get my visa and things like that. So yeah, the Indian lockdown happened, and I was like, oh gosh, what's going to happen now? And then the date got pushed back to sort of end of August. And then finally, I made it here on the 20th of September. So it's been an adventure before I even got out here. But, I'm happy I'm finally here now. And it's already been a bit of an epic adventure. So, yeah.
What was it like making that? I mean, it's obviously a pretty big life decision to make, to quit your full-time job and do what you've done. What was it like making that decision?
For me, it was like there was no decision to be made. Do you know what I mean? As soon as I saw the opportunity, I'm like, I'm going for it. Do you know what I mean? I'm a risk taker. I think you'll find that pretty much everyone in the mixed martial arts field are inclined to be this way. Do you know what I mean? We fight for like, it's such a dangerous sport, and it's kind of like we're sort of demanding most out of life. Do you know what I mean? We take big risks, and everyone in this field are bold people, if you know what I mean. And for me, like, there's so many reasons why I fight, so many reasons why I got into martial arts that I've always struggled to answer the question. Martial arts introduces you to so many cultures. Do you understand what I mean? So like through Taekwondo, I'm learning about South Korea. And then I started training Muay Thai, and then I've become fascinated with Thailand. You start learning about Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, you start becoming fascinated with the culture in Brazil. So like I've always had a travel bug through martial arts, and I did go to Thailand to train. for 3 months. I saved all my money up, got out there, spent it all, and come back more complete fighter. So when I saw the opportunity to come and coach in India, it was like no decision to be made. I was like 100%. I want to make the absolute most out of my skills. Do you know what I mean? So I've been teaching for quite a while now back in the UK, and through teaching, it gives me so much fulfillment, like you wouldn't believe. Like you
I love
see
it
students every week.
I love it when you hear people say how like fighting's allowed them to see more of the world.
Yes, it has. It's like I've been to Paris twice. I never would have went. I went to Paris twice for competing. I mean, even in the UK, you're up and down the UK competing. Doncaster, Leeds, Southend. Like, and your network around the UK spreads, and you meet so many amazing people. And now I'm spreading my network across the planet, if you know what I mean. And
Yeah.
it's all, and every time I'm just connecting with like-minded people that love martial arts, have similar philosophies. So martial arts is just, it's not just about fighting, it's literally like a way of life. So there was no decision to be made about coming out here. But there have been some challenges, big challenges before even getting out of here. Because I met my girlfriend sort of not long after the opportunity. And then I was like, oh shit, like we weren't official at this time, but I was just like, at what point do I let her know that I'm going to be immigrating? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And now she's here with me as well. So, and at that point, I guess there's more decisions to be made for her. But she's very passionate about martial arts as well. So that's how we met, through martial arts. So it's a shared experience now.
Yeah. You mentioned before about like coaching and stuff, and obviously you've got experience being that personal trainer back home, training other people already.
Yeah.
How was
yes
how was that, making that jump from being just a personal trainer to head coach at a gym?
Okay, well, we can't say so Javier is the AKA head coach. Like, we need to understand this. So I don't want any confusion there. But I'll be the MMA coach,
Yeah.
AKA Mandarin Beach.
Sorry,
so head coach,
yeah,
not a title for me. But
yeah.
do you mean, like, as the brand, we need to understand that it's Javier.
Yeah.
But to coach, like, I've been coaching at Combat Principle in Milton Keynes.
Apologies, Javier.
But you know what? I haven't started the work yet, but I'll be just doing the same thing. That, do you know what I mean? Just banging out the classes. Do you know what I mean? And for me, I can teach boxing, Muay Thai, Taekwondo. A lot of my one-to-ones, in fact, they love learning Taekwondo. I don't really go through the pump stays that much with them. I just get them doing the pad style and the kicking style. I think it's actually more effective in MMA when you're throwing kicks above the waist, that is, because it's a faster kick and you get your foot return to the floor quicker. Anyway, so I'm going on a tangent there, back to the teaching.
That's
so
right.
It's basically the only transition for me to make is that I'll be producing more classes. Do you know what I mean? Instead of like a couple times a week, it's going to be a couple times a day. So for me, it's the perfect opportunity to grow. So I'll develop my skills even more. I'll become a better coach, a better martial artist. So the only transition is that I need to produce more content, if you know what I mean. But back home, I was doing a lot with teaching that Combat Principle, and then I was teaching that like Exercise for Less as well. One-to-one with clients. The one-to-ones was a great place to sort of develop my coaching skills because of the different types of clients I'd get, all ages, from like 8 years old, 6 years old. I mean, I was teaching 5-year-olds and above, so there'll be 5-year-olds to people in their mid-50s I'm teaching. So I've got a deep understanding as to what different individuals need from this training. I would get people come to me, and they're young lads who are 80, and I'm like, I know you want to be a fighter. I believe you can be as well. So I'll give you everything I know, but I'm going to have to guide you in the right direction now and tell you where you need to go train if you want to achieve these goals. Some kids just need a bit of discipline and some focus, and it helps them perform well at school. And then when I'm teaching people who are in their mid-50s, like, it's more about giving them some longevity, if you know what I mean. And my dad, for example, I started teaching him about 2020. We started beginning of 2020, and I'm seeing him get like health from it, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And I get so many people say, "Oh, I shouldn't. I can't start. I'm too old." I'm like, no, that's an excuse. My dad doesn't ever make excuses. He just cracks on.
How
And
old
I
is your
think
dad,
you'll
sir?
see like a lot of mine and Tom's determination. Say, oh, you know, I'm a bad son. I should know. He's like, I think he's 56. Yeah, you're gonna get me in trouble again now. but you know, he's honestly. So we started. First was gonna start with jiu-jitsu, and then I realized, oh, he's not quite. His body's not free enough to be able. I tried to get him shrimping, and I was just like, it was stiff. So I thought, we're not gonna start on the ground. So I started him with boxing because his balance needed help, because you know his work was more of a desk job, and he had some issues with his balance. So as the months went by and his boxing was getting very competent, I thought, wow, you're really good at boxing now. Let's take it up a notch and introduce the kicks. And he's not ever done a kicking sport in his life, but he was doing excellent Muay Thai as well, like throwing kicks above the waist and cracking them in the pads. So you know, he's a tough guy, so that's why it was actually quite easy to teach. But I've seen how if you apply yourself, it doesn't matter what age. So you work well with your coach, then you're going to get results. And I do have some other older students. It's just they chip away, and honestly, you get young, like you get youth back from training. It's people think it kind of takes away from you. No, you get more from training. But this is why it's so right for me to be coaching now, because I've got so many students from like different backgrounds, different ages, and I see how happy it makes them, and I see how it improves their lives, and then from seeing that, I just started blossoming. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And seeing, oh well, there's so much more to this game than just fighting. Do you know what I mean? I could give back. Teaching was really special as well, because you can never thank your parents enough, if you know what I mean. And that was like the best thank you I think I could have ever give, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
To show him what I've learned as I've grown up, and you know he's grown up, he's provided for me,
Giving something back.
And then I've grown into the man I've become, and I thank my parents. Now I can give back to them. It's nothing tangible, but it's worth so much more. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's the beauty of coaching. So it's why I'm so excited for this opportunity, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So
it's clear to see how passionate you are about the sport.
It's special. Very passionate. Like I don't know nothing else. Not meant to work in an office, that's for sure.
Yeah. How did the opportunity come about? If you don't mind me asking.
I met the owner when I was training in Thailand. So he knows what my standard was like 6 years ago. So I sent him, when I saw that the gym was going to be opening, I sent him my resume. I sent him my fights showing my grappling pedigree and my striking pedigree, and then a portfolio. I believe he sent that to Mike Swick and Javier for approval. They approved, and now here I am.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. The gym's not open yet, is it? Do you have a date when it will be opening?
No. Yes, so I've got some dates for you. First of all, we've got the fighter trials on the 20th of October. So we've got a big handful of, I think we've got 30 plus athletes. They're going to be turning up, looking for sponsorship opportunities. So we're going to assess their skill level, see how hard they train, see how committed they are to the sport. And then 5 of which will be selected to be sponsored athletes for the gym. So that's really special. So that will be on the 20th. There'll be a lot of content put out so people can see what the training's about. They can see what the gym looks like, and then see like the atmosphere here. So we've got the 20th fighter trials. That's going to be 3-day trials.
The 20th of is that October?
October, 20th of October. Yes.
Yeah.
And then the gym opens up to the public on the 1st of November.
Yeah. You must be buzzing for it.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. I can't wait to get started. It's been nice that so I got here on the 20th of September, and which gives me time to sort of relax, settle into my new environment before I get to work. But it's been actually a bit of a crazy time. My girlfriend got sick, so that was fun. We spent 3 nights in an Indian hospital. It was like very scary time.
Yeah.
It was actually, but she's on the mend now, getting stronger. But it was food poisoning.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Is she all
not
right
to put
now?
anyone off. You just got to be careful. Say again.
Is she all right again now?
Yes, she is. So she lost a lot of weight, which was quite scary. And then she's got so much more pep in her step. The brightness is back in her eyes, and just got to take it slow. So it's just we need to sort of watch what she's eating for the time being until she gets her strength back.
Yeah.
So
I was
yeah.
going to ask you
So
what's
that
it
was
like out there, but maybe not a great first impression of it.
I love it. Like, thing is, for me, is
What's that?
experimenting with a
What's that?
diet.
Sorry, mate. You just broke up there for a second.
Oh, sorry, I was saying, for me, like, I'm loving it. I'm eating all the food. I love Indian food. I'm eating curries all the time. There's lots of nice places to get healthy food. Like, there's a lot of Mediterranean style restaurants out here, which are excellent for training. It's very good for vegetarian diet out here. So I feel like I'm really benefiting from the food I mean out here. It's quite clean. The curries are more oily, if you know what I mean. But for me, I eat anything. Do you know what I mean? I'm loving it.
Yeah.
But like I said, I think this perhaps is because a lot of fighters have always been very experimental with their diets. Do you know what I mean? Like, they're trying out keto, seeing what results they get from the keto diet. That's quite extreme. I hate naming diets, keto, paleo, all that bullshit. It don't matter. It's just like you just eat
different way of eating,
as in how you feel. But I'm fortunate. Like, I can sort of switch my diet up and I still feel great, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But I think this is because I've always been one to experiment with my diet. So since getting out here, like, I feel absolutely fine and I'm loving the food. I had a mutton rogan josh before starting this podcast. And it's very decent. Yeah.
I had a jacket potato.
Paratha is a new. Oh, jacket potato. We can't beat a jacket potato. Yeah.
Baked beans.
Was that baked beans?
Yeah.
Yeah, with cheese.
How'd you guess? Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
That's classic. Yeah.
Since getting out there and sort of meeting people, what do the attitudes towards MMA seem like out there, sort of the general public?
I guess I wouldn't really fully know until the gym's open and we get all the footfall through the door. So it's hard to answer that question right now. India in general, I think, is not a huge nation for MMA yet. I remember the time there was only a handful of British fighters in the UFC, and now there are too many. Like, there's loads.
Yeah.
And now, like, it's spreading across the whole of Europe, East Asia, plenty of fighters. We've got our first Chinese champion in the UFC. We had our first, we've got a couple Polish champions in the UFC now, whereas before it was literally only America and Brazil.
Yeah.
So it's only a matter of time before India follows the trend, and so I feel like I'm very, very lucky to be at the start of this, if you know what I mean, because it's picking up in India now. And it's with this opening of the new AKA facility in Mandram Beach, it's gonna get bigger. So, and now I can't tell you what the public response is because we ain't even open yet. But we've got 30 plus Indian nationals coming to the trials, so I can tell you in time, like, what the standard's like, and then you're gonna have to speak to me at the end of the year, and I'll tell you what the standard's like again.
No, that's great to see some people already interested. Yeah.
So we've got so I'll be teaching the MMA here, and then we've got I think we've got a striking coach coming up, but we've got a black belt, 2 black belts from Brazil that are going to be traveling over to teach the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I can't name names yet, so you're going to have to keep an eye out on the Instagram. So when they're here, that'll be announced. But that's exciting. So I'm excited to learn from them, because I'm super passionate about my jiu-jitsu, and it's like Danny Batten's taught me pretty much most of all what I know in jiu-jitsu, but I've gone to many sources for my jiu-jitsu knowledge, and I'm excited to sort of get some new knowledge from a new perspective, if you know what I mean. So that's exciting. So we've got 2 black belts coming, and yeah, I wish I could tell you, but I can't. It's you have to keep an eye out on the Instagram for that.
Yeah. What are the facilities like at the gym? Is it all ready to go?
Yes, it's pretty incredible. I wish I could tell you more about this as well, but you know, I can't make any announcements yet. But the dojo is looking really nice, beautiful. I don't know how much I can tell you. I wish I could, but yeah, it's looking beautiful. The facility is incredible. So we got dojo, swimming pools. There's going to be an ice bath. All these facilities for the fighters to stay healthy. It's on a resort, so there's so much access to like good food, coffee. The beach is literally right on the beach.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? The beach is like 2 minute, like a minute, 2 minute walk. You walk over the bridge and there it is, Indian Ocean. So yeah, it's pretty incredible. We've got 2 rooms for the strength and conditioning, and the dojo I'm most excited about. It's looking really good, really good. But I don't know how much I can reveal yet.
Yeah.
I guess you're probably gonna have to wait till the trials. That'll be the first sort of sneak peek that people can have at the new facility. So we're gonna get some good content out for the trials, and then the world can see.
Yeah. I saw that clip of you shadow boxing on the beach. It looks
Yeah. You know, it felt very special actually, because I'd always kind of like imagined that kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? I'd always sort of like fantasized of such a thing happening, and yeah, there it is. It's come true, you know. So yeah, just can't wait to get started. Like living, training by the beach. The only issue that I've so far found is like I love running, right? So on an average run, I'll do about 8 miles.
Yeah.
But if I run on the street here, all the dogs go crazy. There's a lot of dogs. They're lovely, you know, like they're street dogs, but most of them got collars on. But I went for a run the other day, and they were like, you can't do it. You just can't run. You can't. Like, I do so many miles on the road, so I need to find like a new running spot. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, they jumped out on me, and then one dog jumped out on me. I was like, fuck, and I had my headphones in. And then that dog spooked all the other dogs, and I thought, oh shit. I literally turned back on myself, and then I got lost.
Yeah.
And then then I was like, honestly, it was so easy to find my way back, but then I got a little bit lost. And by the time I got back to the apartment, I just had these nasty blisters on my heel, because I've been running on the beach, and some of the sand had got into my socks, and then it was so hot it grated on my ankle. So basically, the beach is an amazing run because it's such a long stretch of beach. So that's the best run. But I like to explore when I run. That when I go to a new area, I become familiar within a week because of the amount of running that I love to do. Like I moved from Milton Keynes to I was living on a farm in Toaster for the last sort of 3 months. So I went for a run there and got like what was supposed to be a 3-mile run ended up being a 10-mile run, and my legs were dead. Because I got a similar sort of thing happened there. But,
get lost again.
So yeah, that's one issue. Need to find a new running route, but so yeah, about that. I'll get the hang of that. So the beach is perfect for running, but I think I'll do it barefoot next time. Yeah.
You said about the rain earlier, and it looks very beautiful, like the whole place.
Yes, yeah. Like I'm just loving all the wildlife. You know what I mean? Like some people might get spooked by these things, like cute little gecko lizards just scurrying about, butterflies like size of my hand just flying through the resort. I'm like, Jesus, it's like a bit of a dream. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like I said, I was working out on the roof. We've got a gym on the apartment. There's a gym on the roof, jungle gym I call it. Also a bit of a laundry room.
Sounds
there's like
cool.
I'd like sort of a little flock of parrots just sort of flying over my head, and I was just like, oof, like, you know, just it's a brand new environment for me, and I'm loving all these new experiences and like the new scenery. So I'm excited to see so much more.
Yeah. I remember you mentioning Goa Fight Island before. Is there much you can tell me about that?
Yes. Not too much I can tell you yet, but we're looking roundabout. It's going to be New Year, and there's going to be a 3-day festival. Should be big attendance there, and it's just going to be like an expo of all the arts. Do you know what I mean? I don't fully know what the content is yet, if it's professional MMA, but it's going to be for 3 days. And as soon as I know more, I'll post up the link so people can view. I don't know what the streaming platform is going to be yet, but it's a 3-day festival. It's going to be on the beach, so it's going to be pretty incredible, very special.
Yeah. Do you know much about if your gym will be involved? Or
I don't know, to be honest, because I've not had any involvement in that side of things. I'm sort of just focusing on this coaching pursuit. But all I can say is that it's going to be a 3-day festival, and it's going to display all the arts. I'm not 100% sure if it's going to be professional MMA on the cards yet. I'll just keep my ear to the ground, but it's going to be on Mandarin Beach, and but I can't tell you much about that yet because I don't really have any involvement.
Yeah. Taking things back a little bit, obviously, your fight with Johnny Brocklesby got cancelled. Was that because of moving out here?
No, I had COVID. Yeah. So when was it? It was literally on the weight cut week. I started feeling ill. So I've got like two sort of ways. I can do the water load in 5 days, or I can do it in like 11 days. 11-day mark, and then I started feeling really ill. So I'm thinking, at this point, it's like maybe the water load's making me ill. And then so I gave it a few days, and then I started feeling progressively worse. So my girlfriend got some of them self-test kits and tested positive for COVID. And I was really ill. There's going to be a lot of people laughing at me because I was a bit of like fuck COVID, blah blah blah, one of these ones. Do you know what I mean? More like I just got to crack on with life, and everyone needs to. And you've got to empower yourself by getting healthy. But anyway, it got me quite bad, and there was 3 days where I was really ill, very dizzy. I couldn't eat. I woke up on the day of the weigh-in. I woke up on weight. No weight cut. I just couldn't eat, and I was struggling to drink as well. Because when I was drinking, all the water it tasted metally.
Yeah.
So I felt nauseous from drinking water, and everything tasted so shit. I found it quite ironic because when I was feeling ill, I was going towards this fight. I nearly turned up to the gym because I had a 1-to-1 with my boxing coach, and my boxing coach has been working wonders for me this year. So honestly, I was predicting a knockout in this fight, because my cross is just you speak to my coach, Lee Edwards, and he'll tell you the power's in the hands at the moment. I've been working with him consistently all year. And I remember the day that I was going to go, I was going for a 1-to-1 with him, which I've been going consistently.
Yeah.
And I was going to turn up. And then last minute I said, Lee, no, I'm not going to turn up. I just feel really shit. And, I'm glad I didn't, because it would have really affected his earnings. I got really ill. I got ill as well. Fortunately, she wasn't as bad as me. But at the same time, since getting out here, she got really ill with food poisoning.
Yeah.
She also got a case of bronchitis with the food poisoning. And I don't know if because she had some longer complications with the COVID. She had to go to the doctor. I got really ill, dizzy as fuck. She was kind of more, but weeks later she had to go to the doctor because she was having some breathing difficulties. And then when she got food poisoning out here, man, she was in hospital for 3 nights, and it was very scary. I'll tell you that.
Bronchitis, I didn't know too much.
Had a
is that chest infection?
I believe it's a chest infection, yeah. But so she's having breathing difficulties with the food poisoning. At the time when we was ill, her symptoms weren't as bad as mine, but they seem to have endured somewhat longer than mine, if you know what I mean. But yeah, so no, the fight that's nothing to do with this opportunity. I would never put a promoter out like that because I know what this game's like, and I was brimming with confidence going into that fight. Like, all credit to Brock, like, he's not on my level. It's like, and everyone knows that. And I was so looking forward to get back in there. And I was really confident. I was in my head, I was thinking I was going to knock him out with the hands. We've not seen this from myself yet, and I felt it. Do you know what I mean? Because of the way I put in with Lee Edwards this year. So when it happened, like when I got ill, man, I was just like, I was really upset. Like, I was crying and just, it was, I don't know, man. I was proper gutted about this. So yeah, no. That is the truth. But I don't know. But I've not even watched. I didn't watch the Dan Collins fight. I understand Dan won. I thought he would. Because I see the flaws in Brocklesby's game. He's like a bit of a raging bull. And I believe he wins his fights on willpower. But his standard of opponents ain't nothing like me either. So he couldn't win the fight against me. He's not on my level. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. I've not caught it myself yet, mate. But I'm glad to hear you're feeling back to how you were.
Yes. Yeah. I tried to do the first thing I got back in there was I did All Stars BJJ in Coventry. And like in 2019, I competed and medaled every month of the year.
Yeah.
Circuit, but I love it so much. So 2020, like, I had like my mental focus lacked big time without being able to compete on the mats. I used to every month get excited, like, oh yes, in 2 weeks I'm back on the mats. I just couldn't wait. And that somewhat kept me really healthy in 2019, having them constant goals, like little goals, and they to me keep me ready for fights. I never moved too far away with my fitness. And then like to that fight, I'm not going to talk too much about it, but I weren't all there mentally or physically, but I was quite ill. Like everyone was struggling that year. So I shouldn't make excuses. But yeah, so I competed in All Stars BJJ. When you get ready to compete for a fight, there's a build up. Do you know what I mean? You're gearing towards it, and you somewhat need a release. You need the fight to happen. You need to express yourself. And when you don't get to do that, many fighters are going to vouch for this, but you somewhat struggle a little bit sometimes. Like, you can do, like, because it's such a huge event and so much goes into preparing for a fight. And when you don't get to express yourself, it's like you struggle. Like, so I did All Stars BJJ. I signed up for that, and that was about 2 weeks after the Brocklesby fight. I performed well, but like, I'm a beast on the mats, 100%, absolute beast. I'm competing in the black belt division every month of the year in 2019.
Yeah.
But when I did All Stars, man, I lost each point because no one could outwit my technique to submit me. Oh, actually, no, there's one where I did get choked, but I took a risk. I knew I wasn't going to get a medal at this point, so I tried to hit him with a fancy throw, see how play with some new game. I use it as an opportunity to learn. But yeah, man, I couldn't pass anyone's guard. Because in jiu-jitsu they just butt scoot all the time. It does my head in. Anyway, I was opening their guard, so I'm like, brilliant. My guard opening tech is on point today. I was safe in everyone's guard. No one's guard threatened me at all. I didn't get swept once, but I was just coasting in everyone's guard. And as soon as I opened the guard and tried to pass the guard, every time I went for a guard pass, I was like, done. And then every time I got off the mats, it took me like a good half an hour before I could get my heart rate back to resting.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, whereas before, I'll be on the mats, I roll 5 minutes. And like when you're at training, you roll for 5 minutes. And then you got a minute rest or less than that, and you do the next round.
Yeah.
And like, my fitness is always great, and I'll be able to go get my heart rate up here and real quick back to resting. That's mine and Tom's strength, is our heart. Do you know what I mean? But when I did that tournament, All Stars, I could see what effect the COVID had on me, because I do one bout, I lost every bout. and I was so exhausted. Every time I did a bout, I did 3 categories. No, 4, sorry. Yeah, 4 categories.
Yeah.
No gi, absolute in both. But every time I got off the mat, I was in the corner, huffing and puffing. It took like a good half an hour every time just to get my heart rate back to resting.
Yeah.
So it took about a month to, like, I was healthy in like a week after recovering, but it took over a month to actually be like a competitive athlete again.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, like this COVID situation is it's definitely going to change sports, because you're going to get it if you're training, you're rolling with all these people, but it's going to hamper a lot of performances. So
Yeah.
it's interesting to see how the game's going to develop.
Yeah, no, that's rough to hear, man. I know it like sort of affects everyone differently, doesn't it?
Yeah, I don't know. It is what it is. It's a flu, but
yeah,
flu is pretty bad as well. So, but I never stress about the flu.
Yeah,
I just
feel like it is
know.
here to stay though, unfortunately. So
Yeah,
like the flu, like you say.
yeah, just fucking get healthy.
Yeah,
That's it.
yeah. No, I'm looking forward to it, mate. Looking forward to the gym opening out there. Looking forward to
Yes,
seeing it
I'll
progress.
keep you. Yeah, just check out on the AKA Mandarin Beach Instagram page for updates, and then they'll update you when who the jits coach is going to be, fighter trials, and opening dates. So there's a lot of updates on the way.
Yeah, looks like you're living the dream out there at the minute.
Yes. Yeah, well, apart from being in hospital for 3 nights, I've been very worried. So I must admit,
apart from that,
the last week I've been mad stressed, but I'm just like really concerned, and like with all these changes, I'm trying to sort of get my focus on point.
Yeah.
But I was really worried, and I don't know. But Lauren's on the mend, so
yeah,
she's all good.
Glad to hear you're all right. I'm sure. Obviously, get a bit more acclimatized to the place.
Yeah, I'm loving the food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate you coming on and chatting to me, mate. It's been good.
I appreciate talking to you.